Gek echa yuxatini. Ye oech tuasa gujayi guginki adati khakhtla adi haye jneyi. Kawasa atka kone iti tag. Yes, katak ite. Ye awahas akhwus yitu agesagu ai letu. Ye awahlinget aya kwashwe shugu kone we shukwa tlingit altu. Iti kone ya anas queen. Kone yandis queen. Kone yandishku. Ya awet lekach inach beginning, intermediate, advanced. Shukwa ai kayak kaya whirl ka I kukwashet ka I guchletu. Iti kone yandis queen. Intermediate tlingit nawea asantagaben ka idek aguchletu ka kone yandishkuk ya advanced nakitlan Hans Chester ka idek aguchletu ye awa ka ha ye jini khosaku just ya khana Darkunyagig, iti sandikak, dechyagig, Darkunyagig, hooch. Aka away yejine achtosagu khosatini. Achoy just dech sandikak, kanakaya yejagachini. Kachach toashku.
Connect.
Hesach toashku kunachaway kachwachak. Kachwachaki aya yejine. Ye awa hachoni. Aotearoa dachaya haina kawani kadat. We like keinach gwell domain reclamation. Thingit keinach gwell ayuch adutle atgieg tsugach tu hein. Ye awa ach tu asugu gwell adat ye jini. Aka awe just in kakganig yutan itundetani adat. Ye awa ach tu asugu. Idet koi idet kakguni gwell kak einach. Ajoy tlach tuashku itu daya wuhi. Kwati Stakata yejini Stakat yuhan. So just to recap, we only have 4 classes left. And so by my count, and then we go into finals week. So that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the thing about what we want to do, I'm not going to try and teach you everything. And then for next year, I think it's lining up. So Kaya Whirl said he would teach beginning Tlingit. Nawea Austin Tagaban would teach intermediate Tlingit. And Nakatlan Hans Chester would teach advanced Tlingit.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try and get all 3 sections, including the distance sections, co-sponsored. And if that works, nobody will have to pay for it. And it's an experiment to see if I come back, how could we keep that going? And so there's no guarantee. I've only got 2 weeks to figure it out. I've got till the fall. But that's what I'm going to kind of aim for, so that the community can just keep grinding, keep going. We'll keep the Zoom link alive, so that's certainly something that you guys could use. I told the Tlingit oral literature class about it, and so what I'll try and do is compile sort of one large email list. I'm not very good at those tasks, but I will try to do that. so that we can sort of just say, here's everybody's contact, and I'll try and figure out a way over the next 2 or 3 weeks to come up with some kind of sign-up sheet that we could utilize.
Wasa Kyle Duasak.
Hayaku,
Hayaku.
hayaku.
Hayaku. Ustish.
And then for your final, instead of giving you a whole bunch of stuff to do, I thought I'd give you a tiny kind to work on. So what I think we should do, and this is negotiable, and I'm trying to propose less work as opposed to more work, is we'll take a look at the Cyril George story. We'll try to get through it together. And even if on the I just got to show it to you, whatever. And then I really appreciate you guys working on that. I do think it's good exercise. I think a lot of us who've learned to speak Tlingit have done a lot of translation work. I do think that helps. And then rather than doing a big language performance, since you guys did great performances for your midterms, I think what you should do is the fancy word is a domain reclamation project. And that doesn't mean you have to do it. You just have to show me a plan. So I'll show you a document that's based on something I saw from Vinnie Olson Reeder, who's a Maori language teacher. I thought it was a great idea. So a domain is a physical or social space where a language is used. I want you to identify a spot and come up with a plan on how to take the language into that area. Think small. Don't think like, we're going to bring it back to the home. Yes, that's fine. But I'm talking about like cooking a meal in Tlingit. Boom. Not the dishes, not the shopping, not the eating, just the cooking. So just one single isolated act. Whatever that act is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come up with, you're just going to present your idea to us. And the idea is going to be what it is, why you think it's important to bring the language there. It's important to bring it everywhere. But I think it's important that you can articulate that just in case some Pushakani, some haters out there like, why should we do that? Then you'll be ready. And then just start the things that you think you'll need to take the language there. So if it's cleaning a deer, then there's going to be this list of tools. So we're going to need these names of these tools. Here's the verbs I think that we're going to need. No, I'm not expecting any kind of handbook, any kind of polished thing, just an idea.
This is for the final?
That's for the final. Sound doable?
Did you say there's something we could look at that would explain a little bit more, or this is, you just did it?
No, I'll show you on
Okay.
I'll try on Thursday. I'll give you just a little form you could fill out. Very short, very small. You don't have to have all of the language there, but you just have to show these are the things that I think that we'll need. And if you could find it, cool. Really, it's just sharing. And then my hope is that's your summer activity. And then combined, those are our summer activities. Because Barbara Meek, in her book, We Are Our Language, she have a hard time saying it. Our hour. Not a very good vowelist. But she says, 20 years ago, the language was at home and not in the classroom. Now the language is in the classroom and not at home. So one of the things that this does is it brings the language into these new realms. Then you'll realize a bunch of stuff that, like, oh man, I need to learn how to say that. And so other thoughts, ideas, feedback, objections?
Well, just one thing we've done at our church is we start every Sunday service with "This is the day" in English and Tlingit.
Nice. Yeah, and so like places like the Northern Light Church have been doing this for generations now to bring Tlingit into various aspects. And so absolutely. And that's a great example because maybe there's a foot in the door already. So now you think of some other activity that maybe goes on there that could be done. And the idea is to do this little activity entirely in Tlingit. And so maybe not a whole sermon, but maybe just one specific sort of thing that could be talked about or done. Okay. Other thoughts? Everybody okay with that? Feel free to voice your objection.
Give us a date when this needs to be done.
Oh, the last day we meet is Tuesday. Let me get there.
Would we do this in writing and submit it to you?
A final week, Tuesday, a final week?
Yeah, so that's the 30th.
And put it in writing and send it to you, or just hand it in to you? Or?
We could just share it.
Okay.
If we want to assemble something, we probably could do
So
that.
that's April 30th.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 weeks from today.
Is April 30th our last class, and then there's finals the week after that?
No,
No, that's it, huh?
our last class is the 25th. Next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So we have 4.
Huh.
I just realized this last night. I was like, yeah, well, so these next 6 classes. And I was like, wait a minute. And they have a little bit more work. They have to translate up to 10 minutes of something and tell a story. And they looked a little shocked, but I said, I told you that. I told them that long time ago. But yours, it's really just share an idea. There doesn't have to be any fancy nothing about it. However you want to sort of tackle that task. But I will show you the example that he used. I'll show you guys on Thursday.
Are people online?
Yeah, you guys online, you guys okay with that?
They're in shock. No.
I can't see if your jaws are agape.
Leave meeting.
So this is an idea, but it's a presentation in English?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. It's in English, and that's all it is. Just saying, I would like to take the Tlingit language here. Then however much work you can accomplish, if you could find a list of words and some verbs and stuff that you think would be helpful.
In English.
Yeah.
And then if we can find them in Tlingit, great. But
Yeah, exactly. To say, I'm going to need all the sewing things, and then you might list them out, and you could start finding them, but it's not like you're going to make the kit that we just grab and take into the thing. You're just presenting the idea, then you've got the summer to put it together. I'm not kidding, you're not graded on it, but hopefully this is just something you want to do, and that this will give you this. You'll start taking steps to go there. Okay, I got a thumbs up. Yes, it's the 30th. Yeah, anybody worried? Anything I could do to help? But it's not a big language performance, right? I figured it would be less pressure than saying, okay, you've got 2 weeks to make your 5-minute speech, Instead, we'll do this. Because I saw it over the weekend. I was like, ooh, that's a neat idea. I can't remember what we were working on. But the big thing is, remember to keep it really, you're looking at a very isolated thing. So it's not the entire fishing season, it's just this one trip, packing the boat. Keep it manageable. Okay, any questions, thoughts?
I'm not quite getting it, because it's a domain reclamation project. Ideally, it would be something other people could participate in with you, who are doing this one activity in this one area, and we're doing it in Tlingit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do it.
Plain rain.
Yeah, painting. So it would just be the kind of vocabulary you would need to engage in this activity, or doing the thing that you do in this place.
And I would recommend that, well, it could be anything, but I wouldn't recommend building a television in Tlingit. Something like there's going to be such an incredible amount
Go to
of
Costco.
Darn.
language needed, but more just sort of the day-to-day stuff that people commonly do. We start with the sort of, they call it the low-hanging fruit.
Going to Costco, going to Fred's. You get a lot of vocabulary out of it.
Yeah, right. Shopping, going shopping in the language. And some of the things that they talked about, some other folks talked about, that they started doing in Hawaii, was they worked with stores to say, hey, can you put a little sign up that says, I speak Hawaiian? And that way, if I'm standing, I'll be like, I'm going that line.
Uh-huh.
Because there was someone who spoke some Tlingit, and she was from Tlakwan, and she worked at Safeway. And anytime I saw her, that's the line I got into, because I could talk in Tlingit and I could do most of the transaction. And so think about what you can do, and then think about maybe what this could lead to. Really cool, because the idea is a language tends to lose the places where it's spoken. It's not here, it's not here, it's not there, it's not there. And then it gets isolated to these little tiny pieces, and it gets kind of frozen because people then don't know how. And so it's tied to this concept called the vernacular, which is the day-to-day language. How can you get people to just do day-to-day stuff? And so if people are sewing, give them the tools to sew in the language. If people are doing bingo, give them the tools for that. If they're fishing, give them the, so whatever the thing is. And then we'll see. And Kachane says, all Tlingits move to Juneau, register to vote, take it back. Okay. Let's take a tiny piece of that, right? Okay. Morning routine with my kids until dropped at school. Perfect, yes. We were just looking at a thing today. Gold Belt has a whole bunch of units that I think we should be looking at. Let me see if I could find the one that we were looking at. I'll share it with the gang. And it was about packing your backpack. Because someone told me a name for crayon, and then I tried to recreate it, and then we're going back and forth on what it should. And then I think we've come to a consensus on what crayon should be. So let me see if I can find that. Oops. Oh, let me share this with there. Okay. So just thinking of tools that are out there, and then additional tools that we could develop. So this is Gold Belt Heritage Foundation, goldbeltheritage.org. If we go under curriculum and resources down to lessons and resources, and we'll start at elementary resources. And we go to Tlingit language. And here we've got basketball, berries. And so these are things to look at too, because a lot of work has already gone into this. And so there might be things you can already find. And maybe just going in here will lead you to some ideas as well. So here's packing a backpack. And there might be a variety of things that you're gonna get through.
Okay.
So here we've got school items, sneakers, homework folder, pencil, marker, colored pencils, crayons, lunch, snack, glue. And then there could be other things too if we're combining, and so I would say keep it maybe, and don't be upset if you don't get it all. Instead of sort of getting everybody out of bed and making breakfast and getting everything packed and getting into the car and driving to the school, that's probably actually 5 or 6 different things. So we're talking tiny kind, li'i, lusk. Yes, and this should include, usually when there's types, and so we'll go through, I'll make a form for you guys to use so that you can just sort of put down what the thing is, why you think that's important, and then strategies, so just general strategies. So what could some of the strategies be? If I want my family to get ready for our morning routine all in Tlingit, then there's just some things we're going to need. We're going to need to make sure that a lot of things you're going to be doing is trying to just push back on switching to English. because English is going to be the faster way for people to communicate. If there's uncertainty, people are going to want to switch to English. So it could be, oh, let's have some incentives. Like if we can do this for a week straight, we're all going out for dinner and celebrating, or there's something that, there's some carrot that you can sort of dangle for the group. The other thing is we're going to need to know how to say jackets and shoes, and and so the different types of things, and those are going to be your nouns, right? These are the things we need to know how to name. And then there's going to be usually the states, the actions, the events, the motion, so those types of things. If you could avoid motion, that's always going to be easier. But and so you don't have to have the verb in 20 different modes or anything. You just gotta, what's going to be the useful thing? Grab your coat, get in the car, hang that up, put that.
Commands.
A lot of commands. But then it could be another potential sort of area is catching up on what's going on with the family. So maybe it's coffee and tea. Maybe some of those things are, oh, how's your son? How's school going? How's just really think about the types of things that you typically talk about throughout a given day, and figure out how to do those things in Tlingit. So that another step beyond that was picking words to just sort of replace. Like I think we could say yesh and chalk in Tlingit country, and I think everybody would be fine, And so there, I think the Maori, they did a project like that where they picked a set of words and they just started saying, oh yeah, if you want to be here, that's what you say. So Gunchichish is another great candidate. So Achokwach would get a vote from me, but whatever. Other thoughts, questions, ideas? Okay. We only have 3 3/4 days left, so we're gonna. Everything's high speed. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. All right. So what do you guys? We got the Akasaka story. We've got bases and suffixes. We got the perfective. I don't know if we're going to get much more than that. I thought we'd do the future, but I did put the chapter up there so you can see. The next book that's going to come out for Tlingit, if everything goes right, is really going to be on the perfective, the future, and then maybe a few other sort of main types of verbs like commands, prohibitives. There's sets of rules for these. The future is the most predictable, I think. The imperfective is totally it's unpredictable. You just got to sort of look at it and say, okay, that's what that one is, and then you'll get it. So what do you guys want to do? Any votes? And let me throw the options up here. We've got the perfective. We've got.
I watched last Thursday's class on the video last night, and I thought, boy, that was a good class, where the students were able to predict how to write the next verb.
Yeah, I guess we're
It's that kind of practice is very helpful.
We were
I
hitting
think.
our thumbs a lot. We were engaged.
I was yelling the answers.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay.
I thought it was excellent. I would like to do
Keep going?
that again. Yeah, I feel like we started to get a little bit into the groove.
We're getting some momentum here. So here's our next candidate for conjugation. So let's start with this.
Are these in our verb cards?
I think most of them are.
Okay.
Although this wasn't done, the strategy here wasn't the most common verbs, but getting 2 L classifiers, 2 D plus
Okay.
L. It's just moving through the classifiers
Okay.
because it's really to show the pattern. Because there'll be a few in here that are not very common verbs.
Because I was thinking of going through this and printing out the blank ones later on and trying to practice.
Well, in the chapter itself, which is on our course website. So if we go down, so here's the perfective handout, here's the future handout, And they both have a bunch of examples and then all of these are in fill in the blank form.
Okay.
So you could go through and just sort of see.
Mhm.
And then, I don't know if I got the answers on these handouts, probably not, but I do have the answers somewhere. We could go back and through. And eventually, once we go through all of them, then I'll release the slideshow. But yeah. Okay. 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 And then the future chapter does the same thing. I think using the same verbs because they're already there. So the idea is really just to focus on the pattern. Okay, so with this first one, what does it tell us that we need to put it into the perfective? What's the stuff that we can see?
Object, subject, L classifier.
Yeah, so let's do one. So there's an object. So that means the third person is going to be ow, right? We're going to get the ow in there. Letter A is going to pop up. There's a subject, of course. So there's the classifier. So what's the classifier going to sound like? Right? L-I, all the way down. And here's the verb root that is closed and 0. So what will the stem be? Short and high. Ach. So we should get all the way down. Okay. And when we're talking about, this is to play a musical instrument, like let's say there's a guitar, right? So, and if you're getting good guesses, that's great. But if you're starting to get a lot, take a pause and see if someone else can get it. I played it. Khwasa'ach, yeah, away. Khwasa'ach. Khwasa'ach. We played it.
Wutusa'ach.
Wutusa'ach. Wutusa'ach. Hey. You played it. We can't get them all.
No, you can't.
But this is wonderful.
He's on a roll.
But if you are nailing them, which you are, just take a pause. But yes. Yishla'ach.
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 Y'all played it.
Yishla'ach.
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 She or he played it. Ausha'ach.
Ausla'ach.
Ausha'ach.
Ausla'ach.
And the gimme, they played it.
Has ausla'ach.
Has ausha'ach.
Has ausla'ach.
Has ausha'ach.
Has ausla'ach.
It was played.
You say it. Get credit for it.
Say it again.
Say it louder.
No,
Wututle'ach.
Wududle'ach.
Oh, wududle'ach.
Wududle'ach. So again, once we get to the du, that fourth person is going to put the D. It's like a dude. You got to have the D at the end, bro. Doodle, dudze, duje. Has to. But it has to also go duwa, right? That's just, no matter what mode the verb goes in, for the futures, whatever. Once you put the fourth person in there, chasachan, tusachan, isachan, asachan, dudzechan, right? Wushtudzechan. Okay. Okay. So when we get to this side, object, subject, L classifier, so the prefix is going to be the same. Chwashe, wutushe, yeshe, yishe, aushe, has aushe, wududle. All the way down. All that's going to change now is the stem. And this is also closed, also zero. What's that stem going to be? Short and high. All the way down. The zeros that are closed, short and high. Everything else is long and low, unless it doesn't go low. Okay. So this is not to be dirty. There is a verb to be dirty. You just take the subject out, and that's a different verb. But this one is to get something dirty. I dirtied it. Hey, we always got to keep an eye on this L, that it's staying a sh and not a li. Okay. All of our neighbors have li.
Siyayanika? Siyayanika, that what you just.
Oh, so this L, whenever we have an L in Tlingit, any L anywhere, it's always going to be if we start hearing the ooh, that's a common thing, is for that ooh to pop back up. Haida has it, Smalgach has it, I think Tishoni maybe has it, Tagish maybe, I think everybody does, except us. Okay, we got it dirty. We're filthy. Is there another F in filthy? It's just Filthy. Okay.
So for it to be short, the I goes away then?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. In the future it'll be long, but because it's zero, it'll be short. So this is how, way back to beginning Tlingit, we say, or what I like to say is there are 4 Tlingit vowels, and each of them have 4 versions. Because this is how you see them moving predictably between short, long, high, low.
But Eon is one letter.
Yes, it's just a long vowel. Right.
They're pairs. Pairs. EI is the long version, that version, and E is the short.
Yeah.
Trimmed up.
And there are other cases where there's a pretty neat relationship between some of these sounds. So there's also, when we come into, we'll see it in nouns as well. So we might have te, and then, so we might have te, but if it's mine, how would I say that? My te. So what will happen if nouns end with a short high vowel? Put a suffix on them, they will get pushed long and low. Right. So here's another example. So atcha would become ach, atchaye. Right? So this is just something that happens, but this is where you see this E to the EI thing. That's the pair. A. And that's what we got going on here.
That was great, thanks.
Okay. You got it dirty. And perfective second person verbs are always just a little short statement away from bawling somebody out. Dirty. Y'all got it dirty. She or he got it dirty. They got it dirty. It got dirty. Everybody okay?
That is very hard to say.
Yeah, the chech is a fun one. Okay, get over there. Is the next candidate for conjugation? This is for a subject to rest. So, what do we need to know about this one? Or what's shown to us in the theme?
Subject.
There's a subject, there's no object. So we're going to get w instead of ow for that third person and third person plural.
Okay.
D plus L,
L is tle.
gl, all the way down. What's the stem going to be?
Short
Gonna
and
be-
high.
No, it's going to be long and high.
Long and high, yes. That's the, we go open or closed. Oh, closed, okay, 0, short and high, everything else long and low. Oh, it's open, 0, long and high, everything else long and low.
Can you show me your card? Can you show us this again and confirm what it is that we're
Equity.
looking for?
And I'll show you something else here in a second. So here's the stem variation that we're looking at. So we have, there's 4 stem types, right? Open, fading, which is also open, closed, and what we call glottal and ejective, which just means closed and doesn't go low. And so the ways we think about this is there a consonant on the end? If not, then it's open.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pasa. And then for the closed ones, they will all behave the same, but if in the theme the stem is marked high, it will not go low. Those are just the things that you remember. So then when we see open, 0, high. Open, na, ga, or ka, low. Open, closed, short and high. Oh, so these long and high, sorry. Na, ga, ka, long and low.
So we can see the theme, because that's the thing that's next to the square root sign.
Yeah.
Right? And we're looking at what are the letters. In this case, it was SAA.
Yeah, so when we...
Oh, no, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was SAA, so let me... A little lost.
Oh, it's so wrong.
Nick, I think we did the next one. Okay, so here we go. Saw. So that is open.
SA.
First thing we do is we look at it and say, is it open or closed? Open. What's the conjugation type?
Okay.
0. Open plus 0, long and high. So we expect glissa, glissa, glissa.
Can we go with that? Can we just go back to the little chart and go, okay, step by
Yeah.
step?
Hold on. Let me, okay. So back to, let me, what number?
I'm sorry.
What about 85? Okay. Now let's be what he said. So back to here, we saw S-A-A, open.
Uh-huh.
And the next thing over, we saw 0, saw, 0, long and high. Vowel, vowel.
Okay, gunafichish.
Okay. So glissa, 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 all the way down.
Watasa. Hatasa.
I rested.
Hatasa.
Quadlisa.
Away. Glissa. Okay, and we just gotta Stabilize that tone. Because even if you're making a guess, make your guess with authority.
With the right tone.
Nope. Okay. We rested.
Wutu, wutu, lisa,
Wutudlesa, get away.
Uh,
Sheesh. Let me back up for Daysleen. Amtlaach has amtlaach, amtlachech has amtlachech.
kunchish,
Contracted to the W consonant, that's where the M comes in every time. Okay, where were we? We rested with Tudlesa, Ye'aweh. You rested. Went the wrong way. Yidlesa, Yidlesa,
yidlisa,
Y'all rested.
yi,
Ye'aweh. Yidlesa, Yidlesa.
yidlisa,
You probably get a gamma here. It's. I haven't quite tested that one out a lot, but I would expect in testing you might yinglitsa. That
yinglisa,
Ye'aweh. He or she rested.
amglisa,
So there wouldn't be the because there's no object. No object. It's just going to be w. No matter, in this one, the coasts and the inland are united. Woodlisa,
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 they rested.
Haswoodlisa,
Aswoodlisa,
Haswoodlisa,
Aswoodlisa,
Haswoodlisa.
people rested. Woodlisa, Woodlisa.
Woodlisa.
So if there's an object, I'll usually say it was verbed. If there's not, then I would say people verbed. That's usually how I translate them. The fourth person's it just seems to be how it goes. Okay. So just to kind of recap, Huadle, Wutudle, Yidle, Yidle, Woodle, Huswoodle, Wududle. There's no object on this one either, so they're going to be exactly the same. All those prefixes. And the one thing, as you build these patterns, if we go back to the other page, we had Huasle, Wutusle, Yisle, Yisle, Wusle, or Outle, Hus Outle, and Wududle. But the key here is the object tells you whether or not that third person is going to have the letter A on the front. The classifier, because it's plus I, when we get to the non-zeros, because any of the L, L plus, D plus L, S, D plus S, SH, D plus SH, all you're switching in the pattern is that consonant in the classifier. So you can have si, zi, sh, gl, sh, j. The rest will all be exact. It will be the same. Then the stem is predictable as well. Like so, this one we have the sh is going to come in front of it, which is how do we chant? What is that thing doing there? So the self, right? Then we're going to get the subject, d plus l. So we're going to have gl. This is closed and 0, so it should be what?
And so in the perfective, the vowel is always plus I, huh?
Yes, for a perfective positive, always plus I. Okay. Short and high. So we're going to get which is fun to say very fast. You say it a whole bunch and then someone will say, shilkat. The command form of this means shut up, right? We could say, I quieted myself. But we could also say, oh yeah, I shut myself up, right? Because that's why the self is in there, right? So when someone says to you, shilkat, it's saying, quiet yourself. But there, if you don't know the person that well, you can say, ja, which is like, shh, ja. But if you know them and it's cool, or if the situation calls for it, shilkat. I don't think it's always like rude, like shut up. I think there are instances where it could mean calm yourself down if someone's like overexcited and talking a little too crazy. Okay. I shut myself up.
Would,
So you got to get the shh. It's got to start with shh.
we start with that.
And then it's going to run into huatle.
Huatle.
And then it's going to end with kat.
Huatle.
Kat.
Huatle cut.
Huatle kat.
Huatle cut.
Huatle kat.
Huatle cut.
So these zero, just like those zeros that are, especially if they have like an ejective on both sides, they just cut. They come out really pretty hard. Okay. We quieted ourselves.
Cut.
We got to get the t in there. Tudle cut.
Huatle cut.
You quieted yourself.
Shie.
Tudle cut. Tudle cut.
Cut.
Y'all quieted yourselves.
Oh, shit.
It's always fun. Cut. She or he shut themselves up. Wa. Yes, we're gonna get shwa. Shwudle cut. Shwudle cut. And so that's good. So you can hear your brain like putting those. Oh, I got to get that perfective. Oh, there's that. There's that. It's like you start to see those pieces, right? They shut themselves up.
Hush. Or do you do the SH first or the hush?
The hush comes first.
Hush. Huatle cut.
Shwudle cut.
Huatle cut.
Shwudle cut.
Huatle cut.
There was a really good word order question right there. So this is an outlier object. It's outside of the actual object spot. And you got to remember that because sometimes you're going to say, Has ha sechan. They love us. I don't know why it's, I don't know. Maybe you're just trying to reaffirm something. But so it's going to go has ha, has chat, has sh. Right? The has is the object on the outside. People shut themselves up. Do they shut it themselves up?
Yeah.
Shwa,
Huatle cut.
shwa, duh. We got to get the duh in there.
Huatle cut.
Shwadudle cut.
Huatle cut.
Shwadudle cut.
Huatle cut.
So, really, it's really fun. It was fun to talk with Pacific Island people over the weekend because vowels are so important to them. And for us, it's all about consonants. I think Northwest Coast languages, the consonant, the vowel just gets you to the next consonant. There are some vowels that mean something, like this. The I in the classifier certainly means something, and so it's not going to contract. That letter A could contract in a classifier. Okay, yak A. How do you know where to put hus usually? Well, them husses are out on the front. The husses are out in the front porch. You got to keep them in between the object. So the one thing that will go in front of the hus is any type of directional stuff. Ye, ke, ade, kuch, hit day, any of that stuff is actually kind of sitting outside of the verb. It's in front of the verb. But as far as pre-verb order, you got any of those directional types of things. Then you've got whoosh or wooch. Then you've got hus. And then you move into the object territory right there.
And then if you had a thematic prefix
Comes right after the object.
after.
And some of the objects are connected, some of them aren't. Okay. So now, we already did the verb to know. Now we're going to get to master, right? And so there's a difference, right? So let's talk about this verb for a second. So if I'd say, Tlingit yuchatangi chosaku, I know the Tlingit language, right? And that's, you guys can make those statements, I think. You're speakers of the language. You've been doing this for years now. Go ahead and take the title, take the ownership. If someone says, are you fluent? You say, well, I speak it. Right? The word fluent is used sometimes as like this, you haven't gone through the right rituals or something. I think it's a weird word sometimes the way it's used. But I think we could talk about levels of fluency. That's something we should certainly talk about, and how to keep climbing higher. And part of it is doing some of this stuff, but after you do some of this stuff, you got to just go talk and not think about it sometimes. And let your brain will do a lot of this work and put it together for you. It's really neat. But then if I said, now I'm saying, the difference is, chosaku is like to know information, facts, and choshaguk is to know how to do it, right? So you might have someone who talks about cars a lot, but they can't fix them. If you can fix them, that's the gook part. It's mastering, especially some sort of skill or ability to do the thing, right? So that's what this verb is. So when we look at it in terms of getting it into the perfective, what is it showing us here?
There's an object, a subject.
Yeah, well, there's an object, so let's process that. We're going to get ausche for the third person, or amsche for the third person. There's a subject, right? So all of these will have subjects, right? So
It's sh.
it'll be she. That will be the classifier.
There's no D in there.
Nope, there's no D.
And then the X means it's going to stay goop.
It'll be long and high every single time, no matter what we ever do with this verb. And there's not very many of them, but they're kind of fun, because you don't have to think about the stem changing at all, because it won't.
So when they're closed and long and high, they stay that way?
Only if there's that X after it. That's what the X marks invariable. So we sort of, Zeosh and Seth and I, we talked about this. Akishawu used to mark whether or not a stem will change. That's what the little tilde is in her dictionary. But almost all of them change. So we decided, let's just mark the ones that don't. That way, if you don't see that, it changes. You're going short, long, high type stuff. Okay. So we should be getting shaguk, 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 right? Chwa. So we're going to get chwashe, watushe, yishe, yishe, aushe or umshe, hus aushe, hus umshe. And then we'll see if we figured out what that one is. I have mastered it.
Kwashiguk.
Yeah, chwashaguk,
Kwashiguk.
Kwashiguk.
chwashaguk.
Kwashiguk.
And that's what the old people will. They use this verb. Ituasaguga, Tlingit shagugu. Do you want to master the Tlingit language? And that just means you know how to do it. right? You know how to do it. Okay, we know how to do it.
Tushiguk.
Tushaguk,
Tushiguk.
tushaguk.
Tushiguk.
You know how to do it.
Yeshiguk.
Yishaguk, yishaguk.
Yeshiguk.
Y'all know how to do it.
Yeshiguk.
Yishaguk.
Yeshiguk.
Oh, she or he knows how to do it. She or he. Yes. Aushaguk.
Aushiguk.
Aushaguk.
Shiguk.
Shaguk.
Shiguk.
Shaguk.
Shiguk.
You guys go to Tesla and just blend. Where have you been? They know how to do it.
Aushiguk.
Has shiguk.
Shaguk.
Aushiguk.
Aushaguk.
Aushiguk.
People know how to do it. It has been mastered.
Would
So the plus D of the SH is
Plus D. J.
J. And so actually, like, remember when we went back and we get in the Wayback Machine? When we were learning how to put, oh, never mind. I thought I had some. Never mind. I'll think about it later. Okay. Dujagook.
jiguk.
Dujagook.
Jiguk.
Okay. Okay. So there are not very many SH verbs. Those are the least amount of verbs, and all. If I did this sheet once where I just counted them, just organized them all. I'll put that up for you guys. It's really, I think it's only the Naish Story dictionary, and then Kagishawu, her printed dictionary. So it doesn't include. I don't think it includes all of her new ones, although I should put them in. Someday I'll make that thing longer. I don't know. But anyways, going back to the classifier. What are we on, 107? So let's just sort of reflect on the classifier for a second. We're seeing it. We're starting to see how it moves and exactly what it does. Plus I means it happened. There's only a couple of verb modes that ever go plus I, and the perfective is one of them, the positive perfective. Then we see this plus D thing, and we're seeing how that, what these patterns are showing us is how that is changing. Then you've got these groups. The zero group is kind of the default for the thing to happen. The S group and the L group share this one quality, which is instead of it happening, somebody's making it happen. So here's ya for yak-a. But if you made it better, yishik-a. That's why the classifier changes. The group changes to say, no, somebody did that. It's not just that way. Here's another one. Yanik. Yisanik. Right? Because you made that thing happen.
Or someone did.
First you made it better, then you made him sick. Gee. But the other thing, there's a couple other kind of associated meanings that you see. With the L group, a lot of times it means for something to have that thing. Like sag is fingered gloves. So sag is technically, it's like a mitten. But once you make a glove and it has fingers, because it has fingers. So the and a body part could mean for something to have that body part. Shigugu, sa, if I had a hat with little ears on it. The S group likes to put things into categories. You're not just this, you're a member of this group, right? You're not just seeing something, you're seeing that specific thing, your dog, my friend, right? The SH group is kind of associated with unwanted things, right? So this is what you could say, Yake, it's good. Kashuke, it's not good. Kashushke, it's terrible. That's it, and those are three different things. Not very many people say kashuke. You could say it. Uh, but so there's very few verbs that are sh. And I bring that up because I had to use a motion verb, and motion verbs are a little bit tricky for this kind of example. The reason why they're tricky is because when you get to the plural, it has to change. A motion verb will change when it goes plural. It'll either have a different root or it'll get the fourth person de frozen in there, then you'll have an object pronoun. It's just kind of a weird batch of.
I don't quite get the Tlingit classifier.
Yeah.
Because it was SH, but how did it go to the D plus SH?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this, once you have a group, it can move from minus I to plus I to say, it happened. That's what we're saying. The verb happened, it is that way. Sometimes there's just a plus D form. It's just built into the verb. Some verbs are just plus D. Landing, jumping, And there'll be plus D if the subject is also the object. So that could mean I'm doing this thing, but it's also kind of happening to me. Or I'm doing this thing to myself. We're doing it to each other. Whoosh and the SH will always push it plus D. For any of these non-zeros, S, L, and SH, de, the fourth person, will also push it plus D. So that's what the plus D thing means, and that's why sh changes to j. And what you're seeing is ya and d are different. S, z, chl, gl, sh, j. You're just finding a way to get that voiced kind of D sound in there.
But there's no clue to that in the theme or the what do you call that thing? The gloss that you gave us. I mean, we don't know that I'm looking at Gach, what we were talking about.
Yeah.
For,
Well, when we look, so this says SH, this says D plus SH. So that means the D's in there.
but your question was because in the fourth person human, all of a sudden we had j sound, right? And how did we know that
For the
was gonna?
classifier.
Yeah. There are, so basically if you don't see that plus D, it's not there.
Well,
No, we'll go to the previous.
though. Good,
Uh-huh.
there was no D.
Right. So let's go into this one and sort of. So for these j. Okay. All the non-zero classifiers must be plus D once you go to the fourth person. Because you can't go duse, dushe, or dushe. Because dushe sounds like a cat. I don't know why. But instead, once you put the du in there, the D must carry over into the classifier. So all of these examples that we've seen, wududle, wududle, wududze, wududze, wududje, wududje. So the fourth person will push it plus D for non-zero classifiers. So that fourth person, it's just kind of tricky. And then it takes a little while, and then you just sort of, you just kind of remember.
Krune, I had a question.
Ah,
I was wondering, are there any materials online or things that you have that we could use to practice like differentiating the classifiers? That's one thing I thought about, and like not knowing when to use, say, L or S or the difference between them. And I was wondering if there's anything you have that could help for practicing that.
yeah, just kind of these, I guess. And then I was trying to put a lot of samples together using one verb using each different classifier, right? Because basically, when you look at the theme, it's going to tell you what the classifier is. And basically, what you're going to do with this classifier chart is it's pretty much always going to be whatever it is on the left side. And then if it's going to go perfective, you push it to the right side. There'll be one or two other forms that'll do that. A positive state verb, because it's that way.
Left
That's
of,
why it's Yannick.
left and right of what?
Oh, sorry, just on that visual. Right, so this is the minus I side, and that's just the default. Almost every verb mode is going to be 0, da, sa, sha, sha, sh. But when you see that verb theme, that will tell you what the classifier is, then it really only goes left or right, unless you put whoosh, chush, or d in there. Then you start pushing that plus D. You start turning that switch.
Goodness, geesh. One more quick follow up here. Like I know we talked about like teen and the differences between like chosetin or like chosetin, and like how teen can take like multiple classifiers.
Yeah.
Is it like necessary to learn? I guess that's what I'm worrying about. Do I like should I be learning like say all the different classifiers I could put with all the verbs, or is that not really necessary?
Uh, yeah, that's a good question. So like uh, when we look in the verb dictionary from Story and Niche, and we just go and grab a verb like neek. So generally, what they're going to do is they're going to show you all the verbs, and whenever you change the classifier group, it's a different verb, right? You cannot change the classifier group without changing the verb. Yake and keshushke are two different verbs, but that's just how we like to use the language, right? We say good, bad, or as opposed to good, not good. So the way that they're going to list these, well, I guess let's go to teen since you gave that example. So the way they're going to list these is they're going to do the zero group first. Then I think they do S, then L, then SH. So what they'll do is they'll list every known verb that has a 0, has an S, and they don't all, I don't think there's a verb that has all 4. Like they just have sets that just sort of logically work for the language. After they move through that, they'll put a thematic prefix on the front because that also creates a new verb, right? So that the kutin is to have sight or to go traveling, right? Kushatin, kushtin is to be blind, right? And so these are some of the things, and so we can see some of the logic of the classifier structure in this particular verb. To see something generally, to see something specific, to recognize something because we put the face on it, to see the face of something. The L classifier is not in here, but that means to watch something or to care for it. So like Hin Chatini is the name of the program here, and they help make sure the river is protected and clean. Adatki Chatini is a babysitter. Do you wanna watch my kids? Chatin, right? Okay. So, but that's basically the structure of Tlingit verbs. I think it's good to know that structure and how it works, but my suggestion is to try and master verbs that are used commonly as you're gaining this information. Because the logic behind it, there's a lot of it that's not going to make sense to the English side of your brain, because the English side of your brain will have its own ways of saying, that's not how languages work, because it just knows itself, right? But once you start moving into this bilingual realm, it will make sense. And then you'll also, and some people engage in these conversations at different rates, but some of those rates would be, oh yeah, that's an L classifier. That's right. And as you learn new verbs, now you might be thinking of the sort of the logic that's going on, under the hood. Is it time for a break? Yes. Okay. So once we start getting into the too theoretical stuff, but just as you see it in practice, and sometimes you just go through these lists and just practice. You can't go to Nasquinits. Back in 8 minutes. Now kaya ko sa teen sheet cook. Ye awa ach ye ko ken katat. Ach tuasaku ye in kachoni gita sakwa ach adat yaku ich. Hachako kanku. Wega. Chal the cut kanku ayahas ausaku. Tlingit. Ye awa. Washa yu katangi an ayah. Ya ke kaududzi what aya Kasatina Khasuti Khonachayat Takawe adat you has tend teach where or you has tend tani nuch where classifier khachadasa Yang ka an gun dachawe we de shitan hasbukuch shit kade wasa haslitzinen wasa tlidzi aya wan qanin squash Tlingit ane kachaya would outdo wachayi. Ye awa yisatin has to at uchu na chain yuka ut ku yuka ut kutas shaki at gadu. Echasaku washa sai kutzatiyata atayich dutlechi at koa. Ye awa hechasaku and koa yak kash chao hasu wahain. Kashka wo haina kawani kweshkashnik. Hastishkashnik yaya. Teshish kakwashnik. Just what is the kocha a gwashdach we yiz kag. Haste ani kachwe hasa wa days. A joy. Haste tuasaku hasa usaku. A jakut kaku haste ani de hasa wa chayi. Keg yak. Tlingit enach yak. Dech nas dagun koa. Cha. Keet yachyati. Keet cha. Keet ya hasna nagoyen. Yas. Ya hasna goyen. Yat atsu. Yak. Ya hasya nagoyen. Ye awa. Ye awa choach. Ya kay wush de seich has jiwaneyen. Kayka ta. Jakuta. Outleqain. Llatin, as the ani kachas out Llatin. Ye awe aqa jakuta, kevzigit, hu awe, one ak kwaltin, aqa jak akuchlatin, jakut qaq akak kwata. Qaq ye has aus ne qoa. Tata yi de has buat, judechnach a. Es has austin has the ani. Qodne aya has the ani, de wukuch. Cha. Gwell at the wood classy to wasaku. Yawa could the day naya a day do yet would jakaka ye with kasha shao. Yawa gwell do yet aya would jakak. Aka awe kevzikit. Goa ausatin we cha at the wood cha has the ani day. Yinde has llywagw kakunach te hasu ikadad. Atrawe hasu hin wait we kasha shao. Yat a tichosaku. Wash kasha shao. ishakit awe wujakak stakadishachawu ach kakwasgat ye awe ach wait adan ka we on gun ku tleidihin hana kawani wasak atlitsini ataya kwash Governor Brady hekadin hasaku adutsa ka ina kawani Kitlehuchi kuig Ketlatuwa ashkugidat Wasa ishan dain haskawa shu Ajoy wega Ketlatuwa ashku hakusti kahayu katangi Ajoy hasake wawus Itleka hatuwasagu wehuchi ayi Hukaa Twasaka kwati Wasa adat yu hastutla a tehwasaka Ye awecho ach Wasa yati Hasyana kuchu Wushkanach Wutuda art Ye awech ark Kuich yak kwas he Yagachtus he Shukwa aya Ash tek yagi Ashukat Wechana Wushkanach Wutuda art the cut way nach sati just nach sati Yach aya Yach getir Kasha Ek has schoutlets ek was ek de kaid iten aka wuch in you has schoutle atkin wasa atka kwanne hanach sati daqa chi sawe kegach tushi daqa tlech daq skachnik sawe yewe has to twasu konach we wush has au saku wasa atka kwanne ye awe Aka awe wush kanach to the art. Shukwa ayat the cut has to at has aya yeshkach to One kanins to has to nach sati art the chankiyan. Has wuchuch ha ete de she ha at tin. Yewa ha to wasaku ha konet kanayi ha at has to gayeti. Aka has to kani yan akate has yekakwati. Ye awe kwash ye awakatel khataya ikachaya kakwa yekakwa ya ach klishk an katachzin klishk utlain ya kayeti dat ye awe kone yan has shutzene aka take we yen the shaniqa de shitan awe hu awe wuna yuk kananai klage at has our iqadat ya kukitan ka guantan adakaya has yaw sadak has to hunt uwagut yitwa gesigu klage gartusene ye koti Keshatwash go yanachaya yitu yinigu wasa shige atkoa we huchi kuig has to atu aya the kach aya ye has ausene has to kuigi has to ina kawanik guk yenasne kuig atina hayati was hat the chan kisani kagi yes kagachtu aq ye awa ho achtu Qwetl klein, wash cast klein a kagaya we kleq. Wasa shawa hik. Ne las our kleq in. Yidat yach, wash we kleq aya. Ne las our kleq. Ke has our she. Aka wasa sagu in. Katuwu yek ya kleq. A kleqi wudidzatini. Aka we ya yisatin yisaku gwash yeah one means kinde with the hook yeah clay with the cut with clay aya we ka away shwut the clay aka kinde aya hui you did the way one means just sich chak hoa we cast clean we take away yet the quatsku gwash 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 katsku away huh gwash nasku do show away do katago katse wa kaka do sako do ka kaste in the kawanik guk kas kadik kanu uhan ka kinde ya to hook a dachaya kakish kain clay wait aka ayayish kak kadin anatlech ye away wait ayach kinde has hook a dachaya wujakain way yet the katsku hunnach just chitle away wujakak away Kehas awashi Tetsin tin. Yewa dati tachotan wasa atwune chak. Hafilko has the kosti. So let me tell you what I was saying. I was inspired by this picture and by the story. Because people talk about this stuff today. And this is at the Kuketan Kuik in Sitka, who are a branch out from the Kagwantan. They had a ku'ik. What I was told was that they were told that it was done. You're not going to have this anymore. We got to put a stop to this. And I just think about what a horrible time that was for people. They're already, making you move all around and taking all your land and taking your stuff and burning your houses down and killing your people, trying to keep you from speaking your language, make you go to different school. And now they're going to try and take this. They had already probably taken away lots of them. There used to be a ku'ik for all kinds of things. So they went to whoever the leader was and said, just let us have one more. He said, fine, last one. So they sent word, and people came. They came so far for this. Think about how hard it was to just travel around. I complain about a 6-hour ferry ride. Right? Think about what it was like back then. And to pack all this stuff, all this atu that they have, all these things that we can see. And I never even knew that was a dragonfly. So Yana 8 just told us just now. Someone told her yesterday at the Tlingit gathering, Yukatungi gathering at the library downtown. And there's a story, the short version is these guys were supposed to watch the town. This is the way that I heard it from Kafkawu. And they used to put young men up towards the top of a mountain so that they could watch. One canoe, you call it yak. More than one, you call it war party. That's how it translates. So hey, there's a canoe coming. Somebody wants to trade. Hey, there's 3 canoes coming. Get ready to fight. So it's just how things probably were back then. And so you would put them up to watch the village. And it's neat because a group of canoes is called cha, and that's what a group of killer whales is called. When the killer whales are swimming in a pod, it's Yahas Nagwain. And when a group of canoes are all going together, that's Yahas Nagwain. So there's really neat connections. And then they were supposed to work in shifts. One watches, one sleeps, one watches, one sleeps. But when one was sleeping, the other one fell asleep. And there was this group coming to attack the village. And this dragonfly landed on his face. And it woke him up. And then they ran down. They were able to warn everybody. And everybody was able to get ready so they didn't get surprised. And because of that, they claimed the dragonfly, particularly the Deshitan out of Angoon. Cyril George has a full version of that story called Gishki, Kelp Bay, which is on YouTube. And then I was told a couple of stories about this from some folks from Angoon. One was that Uh, a ku'ik it's such a big thing, and long time ago, all the clans would show up before, and then the day before, especially into the night, they would have these tobacco ceremonies, and they would plan exactly what they were going to do. So when they went into ku'ik, they already knew as a clan what they were going to do, which songs, which stories, and then they say, if they do this, we'll respond this way. And they would certainly react to whatever was going on during the Pu'ik, but they went in with a really good plan. And then when the Pu'ik is starting, everybody's with their clan getting themselves ready. And sometimes they'll ask a clan opposite, the grandchild of their own clan, to come and put the atu onto people. And that's when you would hear people say, this is not me doing this is my grandparent. And you would name somebody and you say, they're right here, they're doing this thing. And what I was told was, while this was happening, an older man died at the ku'ik while they're getting ready. And so the hosts heard about this, and they came running over, and they said, we'll stop it. This is a big deal. Death is a big deal. And what I heard is the Deshitan put all their atu on them and said, go. This can't stop. And it was such an important thing. And there was a young man, maybe his name was Dalton. There was a guy who was just a young man who was there. And they brought all those berries out in these giant barrels. And then they told him, they said, and we get so excited. There's this okay, would do a hook to, when you dig all that fruit out of there and you lift the bowl up, you go, whee! There's a verb for that, of course. And what I was told is they emptied out this huge thing, this giant barrel of berries. And they told this guy, he was a young man, probably 8 years old or something, they said, get in. And we're going to lift this thing up, and once we get to the top, you jump. And as soon as you land, you start dancing. And then they said he got in there, and they really like to just do things that were just really amazing. And so they lifted it up, and they went, whee! And then he jumped out of there. And as soon as he landed, they just started singing really hard and just dancing. I just thought about how amazing that stuff would be to see. I don't like to tell other clans' business, but it's neat to just sort of hear I hear these stories in English, and to be able to tell them in Tlingit is really fun, in particular about like very specific things that really happen. So, yeah, well. Okay, we got 15 minutes, gang. Maybe it's a little less difficult to do these guys. Okay. So these are suffixes that go on to nouns. Dach, de, nach, ti, wu, and nach. These ones particularly have to do with direction and location, which includes time. De is towards the future. Dach is from the past. T and X could be right now. Like gout, hit. It hit the drum, right? Yidati day. Up till now. Yidati dach. From now, right? It depends how it's being used, but they could attach directly to time. They can attach directly to places. We talked sort of generally about this. Day or dach, from or since, day, towards, nach, through or along, ti, to arrive at, w, to be at. Whenever you use w, it can't be in a sentence that includes a verb that talks about that particular thing, right? So you wouldn't say, ya du yanagut. It just doesn't work. The logic is, whenever you use that w, it's usually in a phrase without a verb. It's just say, it's here, it's there, it's home, it's it's on the face of it, but not talking about, they can't talk about anything else. That's just usually got to be it. Neishlehu, he's at home. Yadichat, I'm right here. But that tends to be they're really short. This means to be residing or resting at, and then the underline X is moving around at or always coming back. There's another set of suffixes that have to do more with sort of they're not quite location, direction things. CH goes on to a noun to say, that's the one doing the verb. Or that's the one that someone's doing the verb with, right? She hits the professional wrestler with a chair, which is related to a story I think Ella told me. Qa would mean to go after, or after a while, or waiting for. So this is commonly used like I'm going to go get some coffee. I'm going to go get some water. But it could also be iqa inati. Be still and wait here for me. Right? Iqa. So that's the waiting for type of verb. And then you usually have some sort of like sitting, standing, be still. That's how you do the waiting type of thing. And then the N means to be with. And that's usually the one you're going to see with in, in, those types of things, right? Any questions on those?
So instead of having a separate article, like in English, with or something like that, you modify the noun.
This one you're usually going to see with those I, do, I. So it's usually going to be in, do, in, tla, in. And so it usually goes right onto that empty base. But you could say tin or teen, and that's also with. It's related to this thing.
I don't know what an empty base is. Sounds like a black hole.
Yeah, so it's ach, I. So when you say ach, eat, idishi, help me. That eat part, there's that, it only exists so you could put a suffix onto a pronoun. That's the only, because you can't say ach, you can't say chat day. You gotta say ach, I day. Right? Okay. So now here's the whole complete list of suffixes, and we're going to put them on some stuff. And we'll see there's some stuff that says, no, I'm not taking that one. We'll take them all. And then the really means it, or sometimes that place, right? So here, let's just say these. Ach,
Touch.
because of it, or with it. Depends on the context. This one you hear a lot. Ach away. Like I might tell that big story about the dragonfly. Ach away has awahain. That's why they claim it. Right? Ach away, achaya. This is why, that is why. Because of that, because of this. Right? Aqa. Aqa. After it or following it. This one's used in, like, we kind of do these things to try and get rid of the Aqa'aweh, that's a really good flow for a story. And then this other thing happened, right? Adach. Either one. From that, after it. So if I'm telling a story and I'll be like, oh yeah, this thing happened. And then after that, adach, just a little bit more focused on cause and effect, where aqa is more like, oh yeah, sometime later, this other thing. Adeh,
Ade.
towards it, this one does have special uses, which we'll see later. You can pair it with other things that'll come in the front and the back of a verb to just sort of change the meaning of the verb. And then the towards it part doesn't even seem to matter so much. Usually that's just towards it. Okay. On.
On.
And there is another on, which is land. But if you just heard, they're talking about some kind of thing, like some kind of cup or something. On awa adachwugud. He just walked off with it. Anach.
Enough.
Enough.
Along it or through it. At. Arriving at it. There is one of these two that means just generally going around there. Like at nach to at. Let's just go take a walk. Awu.
Awu.
Located there. Like, so again, it can't be part of a verb. Ach. Located at that place. So like in the context of using this stuff, I might bring up a place and then I'll say some things that might have happened there, right? So I might say, and then something, right? So the this one gets used a lot to just sort of say at that place. Yeti. It's located there. Moving along, or it keeps coming back to a place, right? And then so here's that T one. Ach it ideshe. Help me. Ach ich deshi. That's the one who helps me all the time. So this is associated with repeated things, arriving at, going towards, being with. You'll see them pair up with verbs in pretty specific ways. Everybody okay? So here's another common thing that you'll see. Ka.
Ka.
Ka. Nadak. Ka.
Nadak.
Kaya kajait ka.
Kaya kajait ka.
So it means on or along the horizontal surface of. So to go off of it, like to fall off of the table. Kadach.
Kadach.
Kach.
Ka.
To go towards the top of it. Kade.
Kade.
To go rolling along the top of the table or to go over it. Kanach.
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 And it can be either way. You'll hear it both ways. To be arriving, to be set on top of the table. Kat.
Kat.
To be generally located on the table. Kabu.
Kabu.
Kusu akhatechayi. Nadak kabu. Boom. End of sentence. Where's my keys on the table? Kach. Ka.
Ka.
To be resting there, to be located there. Kach.
Kach.
Keep coming back or to be moving all over. Nadak kach yeneshich wekutzin. That mouse is running on the table. You okay? Maybe? Yeah.
So all of these, if it has the line,
Means it
in
won't
front
take
of it means it's attached to a noun.
What's that?
It has a line in front of it.
Oh, right there? Yes.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
has to be attached to a noun.
Ach, yeah. Nadak. Tables don't really have a face.
Attached.
Oh, no. It has
It's,
a relationship with it. Conchish.
it's required that it be there. Attached, in my mind, means it's part of the same word.
Okay, so it does not have to be,
It has to belong to something.
okay, you have to have it
Something else.
with the noun, but it's not part of the one word that's the
Right.
noun.
But
Okay.
if it were a shorter line,
Okay.
that
Yeah, the short line attaches. The long line means it's its own word, but it needs
A
to.
little line.
Just like sort of like if we just said under. Can you see my shoes? Yeah, they're under. Right? And we need that other word for it to belong to. And this other languages have it. That's just how we mark it. And then, yeah, if there's a long line here, that means that particular word will not take that suffix. right? Because you can't say using the face of it. You just can't. You can't do that, right? But from the face, like this one would work well from like the steep part of a mountain. That's shaya is on the face of it. Yadach, yadach, yach, yade, yade, yanach,
Yanach.
yanach,
Yanach.
yat,
Yat.
yawu,
Yawu.
yach,
Yak.
ya,
Ya.
yach.
Yach.
So you could say shayabu. It's on the face of the mountain. Genbu. Right? You could say that. But you can't throw in like it's doing something. Then you'd have to use ya. Right.
Which go?
Pucha, good cheese. Hey. Washi shawa hikzu. Cheese plain ye. Great work, everybody. See you Thursday. 3 classes left.
Oh, it's domain reclamation project.
Boom.
It sounds like urban renewal.
Yeah, right.
It's cultural renewal.
Yeah, we're taking it back for the people. To make it sound less bureaucratic somehow.
Isn't that the new name? Well, it's not a new name, the place name for DDHS,
Uh-huh.
Yada.
Yada at kashle. Yeah, yada at. There's the ya for the face. Da at kashle. Yeah, aware.
Nachya andaganye is
Anach, there's the anach on there.
Yeah,
Nach.
andaganye is
Ye and the ganye
ye andaganye.
should be.
Nachye andaganye.
We'll get to why that is.
I noticed it's in a lot of place names.
Yeah, so once you learn these, you'll see kanach and yanach, and you'll see them all over.
It's like Khatini is everywhere too.
Yeah.
Everywhere there's salmon.
Everywhere there was a village, I think there was a Katini and a Guru Spring and a Sakai Creek. Yakecha.